Hello, my name is W. W. Jacobs. My full name is William Wymark Jacobs. I was born September 8th, 1863, in Wapping, London, and I was raised in a house on the River Thames Wharf.
W. W. Jacobs grew up in a large but very poor family.
My mother died when I was just a young child, and my father was the manager of South Devon Wharf.
As a child, Jacob spent the majority of his time with his brothers and sisters among the wharves, observing the coming and going of Trump steamers and their crews. Jacobs was also the oldest child in his family.
My friends often referred to me as shy and quiet, with a fair complexion. Occasionally, my family would spend a holiday at a cottage near Seven Oaks, Kent, or visit relatives in the countryside of rural East Anglia and eastern England. The visits to East Anglia also provided inspiration for my writing, particularly my Claybury stories.
As a child, Jacobs attended a private school in London, and as he went off to Berlin.
At the age 16, I became a clerk in the civil service, and then I worked at the post office savings bank department for 16 years from the ages of 20 to 36.
Regular income was a welcome change from his childhood of financial hardships, but around 1885 he started submitting anonymous sketches to be published in Black Bears.
In the early 19teens, I had some of my stories published in Jerome K. Jerome and Robert Barr's illustrated satirical magazines. The Idler and Today works. The Strand magazine also accepted some of my works.
His early stories were tentative and naive, but they were enough to show that he had promise upon further development in his career as a writer. Henry James J.K. Chesterton and Christopher Morley commented favorably on his work. In 1896, Jacobs' first collection of short stories were titled Many Cargoes, of which Punch magazine said his favorite subjects were men who go down to sea and ships of moderate tonnage. Though W. W. Jacobs had a long and successful career, he is mostly known for The Monkey's Paw, which has been filmed and adapted for the stage many times. The story is centered on the monkey's paw, which has magical powers and grants 3 wishes. The moral of the story is that you must wish wisely. Jacobs also published 2 novelettes which are said to be among his best work. The 2 stories were called The Nautical at Sandwich-Port in 1902 and The Humorous Diastone Lane, written in 1904. These books showed his talent for well-drawn characters and satirical situations.
I wrote many stories throughout my lifetime, including At Sandwich Port, Back to Back, The Castaways, Deep Waters, Diastone Lane, Light Freights, Many Cargoes, A Master of Craft, Night Watches, Odd Craft, Sea Urchins, Short Cruises, and The White Cat. Most of my genres stories included horror, but some of my stories also included humor.
As for Jacobs' personal life, when he eventually got married and had kids.
In 1900, I married suffragette Agnes Eleanor, with whom I had 5 children, 2 sons and 3 daughters.
On September 1st, 1943, Jacobs died in Islington, London. Although Jacobs' road to success was relatively slow, he eventually did become famous.